And issues once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Today, I'm back with the Success Saturday video series, where here we discuss exactly how to be successful while on the 23% Challenge meal plan. Now, guys, today we're going to answer another very popular question, and that is, are fat vegans concerned about the wrong issues? So to find out, please listen and watch on. All right, guys, as always, I have objectives, meaning things I definitely need to accomplish. Now, basically, I have two. My first is what I like to call my short-term objective, and that is Coach D's tip. It's a little bit of help, a little bit of advice, and of course, sprinkled in with a little bit of my opinions. Now, my second objective is rather long-term, and that is to save 1 million animals. That's right, guys. Coach D is all about our fellow Earthlings. So to find out how and which animals, please listen and watch on. All right. First things first, we are talking about fat vegans. That's right, guys. Now, I do understand that for a lot of people, this topic can be very, very sensitive. So please understand something. My intention is not to offend. I'm not here to poke fun. I'm not here to tease, mock, or be critical of anyone that is an overweight, obese, unhealthy, or a fat vegan. Instead, my intention is to educate, motivate, and yes, entertain with a smile. All right. So let's first define the term fat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 23% Nation, I'm going to present to you three different ways in which we can determine whether or not the human body is carrying too much body fat. So first up, let's talk about body mass index, which is basically a comparison of your height and your weight. If you have a BMI that measures 25.0 to 29.9, then you are classified as being overweight. If you have a BMI that measures 30.0 or higher, then you are considered to be obese. Now, there are some things that we need to be aware of, especially when we talk about BMI, body mass index. As I've already stated, your BMI is only a comparison of your height and your weight. It does not take into consideration your gender, your age, or your activity level. So yes, guys, it's possible that you could be a weightlifter and you may have a body mass index that measures 25.0 or greater. So again, if you are very active, if you love to lift weights, then you may want to throw BMI out of the window. Now let's talk about waist circumference. When we talk about waist circumference, basically what we're talking about is how wide you are at the abdominal level. Now, please understand, we're not talking about your pant size or your short size, right? Really what we're talking about is you taking a tape measure and going around the circumference of your waist, specifically at the level of your navel, or we can use the word belly button. Ladies, if you have a waist circumference that measures 35 inches or more, then unfortunately you are at risk for the Big Four. Fellas, if you have a waist circumference that measures 40 inches or more, then you are also at risk for the Big Four. Now, 23% Nation, I get it. A lot of you are like, well, Coach D, what in the world is the Big Four? Well, guys, the Big Four basically represents heart disease, cancer, obesity, and let's not forget about type 2 diabetes. And our third assessment is body fat percentage. And basically, this lets us know what percent of our body weight is fat. So ladies, if you have a body fat percentage of 32% or higher, then you are considered obese. Gentlemen, if you have a body fat percentage that measures 26% or higher, then you are also considered obese. Now, here's the thing. I'm here to help, right? So all I need you to do is click on the description box. Why? Because I'm providing you with video demonstrations as well as online calculators to help you determine your body mass index, your waist circumference, and your body fat percentage. So if you don't know these numbers, again, click the links. They'll take you directly to websites that'll definitely help you out. All right, now let's define the term vegan, right? I mean, we are talking about fat vegans. So here's some very interesting information, is that the term vegan actually was defined by a woman by the name of Leslie Cross all the way back in 1949. By the way, she happens to be the co-founder of the Vegan Society. So here's what she has to say. Ms. Cross says that vegan is defined as to seek an end to the use of animals by man or woman for food, commodities, work, hunting, vivisection, and by all other uses. Now, if you don't know what the word vivisection means, all that simply refers to is using animals for medical and or scientific research. Here's something that we need to be aware of, is that this original definition did not mean anything when it came to looks, or we can use the word aesthetics, or even towards health, right? So the definition, the original definition, doesn't mean that if someone is a vegan that they are automatically skinny, lean, slim, or even healthy. Remember, the original definition for the term vegan simply was all about saving animals and, of course, protecting animals' rights. Now, let's talk about today's problem. And that is, are fat vegans concerned about the wrong issues? Now, ladies and gentlemen, 23% nation, to my fat vegans that are out there watching, right? Guys, my answer to this question is yes and no. And please allow me to elaborate. Now, yes, I get it. A lot of vegans become vegan for all types of reasons. Some of us go vegan for health reasons. Some of us go vegan for animal rights reasons. And some of us go vegan, why? Because we want to help protect the environment. We want to help preserve planet Earth. So if your plight is all about protecting animals and animals' rights, then more power to you. Some of us really want to fight for fewer greenhouse gas emissions. Great, I'm all for it as well. Some of us want to reduce air pollution as well as water pollution. Some of us want to stop deforestation, and all that simply means is that we're cutting down trees in order to make room for ranches, farms, and to grow crops to feed animals, believe it or not. Now, here's something that we really need to be aware of, is that in the middle of being concerned about animals and the environment, we don't necessarily place our health at the top of our priority list. That's right. So guys, when you are overly concerned about animals and when you're overly concerned about the environment, it's very easy to forget about your health. That's right. And so here's part of the problem, is that when you're overly concerned about animals and the environment, again, you place your health on the back burner. And what ends up happening is we start to eat any and everything that has a vegan label attached to it. Why? Because we think that just because it says vegan, that no animals were harmed or the environment is intact. Guys, here's something that I need to be clear about. Just because a food is quote unquote vegan doesn't mean it's automatically healthy. And here's something that you really need to know, is that ultra-processed vegan food products are just as unhealthy as the regular animal-based versions. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely need to to let you know this, is that vegan ultra-processed foods contain, on average, slightly less but overall quite similar amounts of saturated fat, calories, protein, and sodium compared to their regular animal-based versions. That's right. So once again, I don't want to be misunderstood today. I get it, guys. I love animals and I love planet Earth as much as you do. But at the same time, I think that we need to show a little more self-love, meaning we need to give our bodies the same amount of time, energy, and effort that we're giving to our fellow Earthlings and to planet Earth. That's all that I'm saying. And last but not least, here's something else that we need to be concerned about, is that the ingredient list of processed vegan food items tend to be longer than the animal-based versions. So what does this mean? What it simply means is that the more the ingredients, the more processed it is. And guys, just in case you're looking for a basic definition of any processed food, whether it's animal-based or plant-based, guys, all that simply means is that these foods do not naturally occur in nature. As a matter of fact, they have been concocted, they have been invented, they have been created in somebody's laboratory. That's right. So always remember this, that whenever you're consuming anything that's processed, whether it's a food or beverage item, the manufacturer really isn't concerned about your health. Instead, they're more concerned about the bottom line, meaning the money that goes into their accounts. So let's now transition the problem into solutions. But first, let's talk about a few facts when it comes to processed vegan foods. First things first, processed vegan foods are basically alternatives to meat, dairy, and eggs. Now, let's now take a look at some, if not most, of the most common alternatives, right? So first up are the non-dairy ice creams. Ladies and gentlemen, are you aware that non-dairy ice creams contain a lot of saturated fat, a lot of chemical additives, 6 different types of sugars, processed coconut oil, and lots of calories? Next up, let's take a look at plant-based burgers and meat substitutes. Are you aware that number one, they are highly processed, meaning they contain a whole lot of ingredients, they contain chemical additives, processed coconut oil, highly processed forms of soy and wheat, and also they have a high saturated fat and sodium content. Now, let's take a look at dairy-free yogurt. Believe it or not, guys, dairy-free yogurt has a high sugar content and also high levels of saturated fat. Now, I'm going to pause right here and I just want to address something very quickly. So far we've gone through 3 different alternatives, and as you can already see, all 3 alternatives contain saturated fat. Now, for those of you who know a little bit about nutrition, you probably are wondering, well, Coach D, how in the world do vegan foods have so much saturated fat? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to let you know that during the processing process, okay, there is something called hydrogenation. That's right. And so basically hydrogenation is a process where, generally speaking, unsaturated fats are converted into saturated fats. So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you see any vegan food or beverage product containing saturated fats, what that simply means is that number one, it's highly processed, and number two, the fats originally were unsaturated, but due to the processing, right, they became saturated. Now let's continue on, and now let's talk about vegan frozen meals. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, These frozen meals contain just as much sugar, sodium, additives, and other preservatives as the other options in the freezer aisle. That's right. So essentially, they really aren't any better. Now, let's take a look at vegan cookies, some of my personal favorites. Believe it or not, guys, oftentimes one cookie is 2 servings. I'll say that once again. One cookie is actually 2 servings. And on top of that, they contain high amounts of saturated fat, high amounts of sugar, and yes, the calorie content is literally through the roof. Here's something else. For all of us who love cheese, right? Let's talk about vegan cheese substitutes. Are you aware that the serving size is very, very small? And what that simply means is that it's very easy to overeat, right? And once again, these vegan cheese substitutes, they have a very high saturated fat and a very high sodium content. And now let's take a look at vegan nutritional bars. Believe it or not, guys, they're very high in sugar and they also have a very high carb content. That's right. So if you're looking to shy away from any type of high carbohydrate foods, fat vegans, then you may want to reduce or maybe even eliminate any type of quote unquote vegan nutritional bars from your daily diet. And last but not least, guys, let's talk about vegan chips, something that I absolutely love. Hello, Tara. Guys, believe it or not, the serving size for vegan chips is very small. Maybe even to the point where a serving could be only 7 chips. Now, guys, think about it. When was the last time you actually sat down with your vegan chips and counted out only 7 chips? Hardly ever. As a matter of fact, you probably have plopped down on the couch, got your favorite show on, and you have the whole bag and you just eat away, right? So as you can see, whenever there is a very small serving size, ladies and gentlemen, 23% nation, it's very easy for us to overeat. All right, so now that we know the facts about vegan processed foods, let's now talk about the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, fat vegans, unhealthy vegans, obese vegans, overweight vegans. Guys, the answer, the solution, right, is the 23% challenge meal plan. Now, some of you may be wondering, all right, Coach D, why is the 23% challenge meal plan the solution? Well, here's the first reason. Number one, during the meal plan, you get an opportunity to eat whole plant foods. Now remember something, these aren't just any old whole plant foods. These are the plant foods that you already know, the ones you already love, and the ones you already eat. That's right, remember something, it's customized based to what you know, what you like, and what you already eat. So yes, by eating whole plant foods, you are definitely going to get adequate fiber. You're going to get the proper amino acids, which are basically the building blocks of proteins. You're going to get all the essential vitamins, both fat soluble and water soluble. You're going to get all the essential minerals, the trace minerals, and the major minerals. You also are going to get the antioxidants, which basically help to deactivate free radicals, which we already know cause cancer. Plus, you're going to get phytonutrients. Now, it's very unfortunate that the average person, or shall I say the average vegan, knows absolutely nothing about phytonutrients. Well, in a nutshell, guys, phytonutrients are a type of phytochemical. And what that simply means is that these are chemicals that basically come from plants. Now, inside of a plant, they help to ensure their safety as well as their health. But here's the even better news, is that when we eat the right plants, we take in the right phytochemicals, i.e. phytonutrients. And so once inside of our bodies, they do some amazing things. Rather than cause our health to decline, they cause our health to be upgraded. Here's something else that you need to know about whole plant foods is that you will receive absolutely zero cholesterol, very, very little saturated fat, right? And guess what? No hormones and no antibiotics. Here's another reason why the 23% challenge meal plan is the solution. It is because during the meal plan, which by the way is only 7 days long, there are no processed, or we can call them transition foods. So what does that mean? Well, you're going to reduce your calories, you're going to reduce the amount of saturated fat you're putting into your body, you're going to reduce the amount of sugar, the amount of salt, right? The amount of oil, right? Also, guys, no supplements. Now, this may turn some of you off, but here's what I have to say, is that I want to challenge you today to look at the ingredient list of any type of vegan supplement. Read the ingredient list, and you can almost guarantee that it's probably going to look like a short paragraph. Remember something, guys. The more ingredients, the more processed it is. The more processed it is, the further it is away from being an actual natural product. So during the 23% challenge meal plan, no, absolutely no vegan supplements whatsoever. Now here is more of the good news, right? Is that during the meal plan, guys, you control the calories, you control the carbohydrates, you control the fat, and you control the protein. So in other words, you have absolute 100% control of what goes into your body. And here is even better news. For all of my fat vegans who love animals and we want to protect animals' rights and we love planet Earth, guess what? You still get the opportunity to save animals and protect their rights. Why? Because you're not eating them. It's just plain and simple. And believe it or not, guys, you still get the opportunity to reduce your carbon footprint, right? And believe it or not, you still get the opportunity to reduce water and air pollution. And you get the opportunity to stop deforestation. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 23% challenge meal plan is not only going to help you, but it's also still going to allow you to save animals and save planet Earth. Now, let's transition to Coach D's long-term objective, which I believe is in the chorus line of most fat vegans, right? We want to save animals. Now, guys, I'm going to take it a step further, and I want to save 1 million animals. Now, the question is, which animals and how are you going to do that, Coach D? Well, guys, listen up. I recently came across an amazing website, and it happens to be called vegancalculator.com. I'll say it once again, vegancalculator.com. And here's what they have to say. They say that eating a 100% plant-based diet for 7 days saves 7 animals. That's right, guys. So rather than eat the vegan transition foods, the vegan ultra-processed foods, why don't we stick to whole foods, right? Natural plant foods. And believe it or not, just by eating a whole food plant-based meal plan for only 7 days, you save 7 animals. Amazing. Now, to answer your next question, Coach D, what type of animals are you looking to save? Well, guys, let's find out. So the first type of animal that I'm looking to save are those animals that are consumed as food, right? So we're talking about the cows, the pigs, the chickens, the shrimp, the crab, the lobster, the fish, the bunnies, the goats, the lambs, right? Basically, these are our farm animals. Now, the second type of animal that I'm looking to save are those animals whose natural habitats are destroyed due to the standard American diet. Recently, I saw an amazing movie. It happens to be called Cowspiracy. Now, in the movie, they basically blast animal agriculture for being the biggest culprit, for being the biggest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation, desertification, air pollution, water pollution, species extinction, as well as ocean dead zones. That's right. So guys, when you ask me, Coach D, what type of animals are you looking to save? Guys, I'm looking to save all the animals. 23% nation, fat vegans, I need your help. Now, I need the assistance of 145,000 people. All you have to do is participate in the 23% challenge meal plan. Now remember something, guys, it's only 7 days long. As a matter of fact, it's the first 7 days of every single month. The first all the way through the 7th. Now imagine this. If we can do this every month of every year, that means that by the end of 12 months, we will have saved 12 million animals. Now, isn't that amazing? 23% nation. Some of you may say, all right, Coach D, I get it. I'm a fat vegan, I'm an unhealthy vegan, I'm an obese vegan. And yes, I do eat a lot of vegan processed foods. But at the same time, I want to help out the animals. I want to save planet Earth. So you know what? I want to help. Well, guys, if that's your new attitude, then here is the solution. Guys, believe it or not, I've teamed up with Fiverr.com. That's right, Fiverr.com. And yes, I have my own gig there. And it is entitled, I will create a 7-day plant-based vegan meal plan specifically for you. Now, understand something. This isn't just any old meal plan. It's different. Why is it different? Well, number one, you get to customize it, right? Number two, it's going to come with a health assessment. And number three, it's going to come with an amazing workout plan that's basically tailored to you wanting to either lean up or bulk up, right? It's going to come with exercises, video demonstrations, how many sets you should do, how many reps you should do, and also how much weight you should lift. That's right. So guys, if you want to help me out, you want to save animals, you want to improve your health, you want to save planet Earth, then go ahead, click on the description box. There is a direct link to my gig on Fiverr.com. All right, guys, it's time for our question of the day, and it comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. We have inquiry minds. So we want to know, are fat vegans concerned about the wrong issues? Now, guys, I believe I covered the answer to this question during the video, so please click on the comment box and write your answer. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. Remember, my name is Coach D. I'm about to sign out, but before I do, I want to encourage you to please don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's hashtag eat more plants. And while you're at it, don't forget to drink more water. As stated before, my name is Coach D. I'm signing out. Always remember to take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.